This has been the hardest 2 months of my life. The hardest day of my life was the 29th. The second hardest day was the day after that when the NTSB told us about our loved ones spread across the ice.
What keeps you moving forward?
What keeps us moving forward is that we're going to ensure that no other family has to go through what we've had to go through, and the 66 other families that have had to go through. Like I would tell you that there was not a single passenger or a crew member on either the Blackhawk or the CRJ that I wouldn't have wanted to been friends with. These were all really good people and terrible loss to the country.
How are the families bonding together?
We have a tribal bond. It's never going to change. The families are like-minded in getting change made, and we're trying to do that while we grieve at the same time. So all the families that I've come in contact with are just great people, and they're just having to go through some really hard times.
And what kind of change do you want to see made?
Well, obviously, the first thing is we need to update the air traffic control system. We need to get the funding through. We need to get the air traffic controllers fully staffed. Okay, we need to get the Army on board with some changes that need to be made and should have been made already by now. These are the main things that need to get done, and we just need the support of the whole country to make sure that happens.
And do you mind telling us about your son?
Sure. Sam was a terrific kid. We loved raising him, but he had become a magnificent man. His career was really taking off. His fiance was just somebody that we really loved to be around. I was really looking forward to see what their children were going to turn out to be like, because they wanted to start a family right away. It's not going to happen now, and it's just devastating.
Thank you.
Do you mind if we just get the spelling of your name, your first name again, please?
It's Tim, T-I-M, and Lily, L-I-L-L-E-Y. Thank you for giving me a voice.
Thank you so much. Sorry, and then that, this is your son.
Sure. Guys can't walk all the way. Sure, go.
Oh, yes. All right.
We do.
Do you have a card? I'll send it.
You're right here, guys.
Anyone who wants pictures or anything, hand me your card.
Or airdrop?
Airdrop, sure.
I can text you my information.
202.
And I lost the audio.
270.
And I will be sending
You good? Thank you.
Well, we can turn on airdrop real quick.
airdrop. Yes.
Okay, let's just do this. Okay. Let's see. Amy. That's okay.
Amy.
No, it's okay. Okay. You all have to send it to
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline.
Yes. Mine should be,
There you go. Let's see. Anybody who wants airdropped photos to support their story of Sam.
NTSB chair now.
Um,
All right, folks, you pass right here.
Please,
Just clear right here, if you don't mind. So step over here or step over there.
I'm moving. I just walked out of the door.
Hi, Chair Hominy.
Hi.
How satiated were you with the hearing today, and what came from the FAA and the Army today?
Well, they have been very cooperative with our investigation, and we are working closely. It's a pretty broad investigation. It's a very complex investigation, and a lot of moving factors here. I didn't hear anything new from either one of them, but I thought the remarks from the senators were really heartening. I thought not just what they talked about with the families, but in pursuing some answers and safety solutions.
How upsetting was it to you to hear from the FAA clearly something went wrong, was the big quote from them, and that they had all of this publicly available data that you guys uncovered? So was there a failure of oversight by the FAA?
I wouldn't just put that on the FAA. I'd also put that on the Army. The Army also has to monitor their own helicopters, they have to also figure out a way to monitor close proximity events and get that information and determine when their helicopters are exceeding maximum altitude. That is part of our investigation, but for the FAA, they get a lot of safety data, and it's been a conversation for years on the information that they're getting, how are they trending the next big accident, because, and I'm telling you this now, the next big accident is in the data right now.
Are you confident that they'll be able to pull that out of the data? They talk a lot about machine learning and AI.
I'm not confident. We'll see.
This news about drones and other Army helicopters that are flying around without their transponders on. How do you respond to that? You said that's not news to you today?
I did have a conversation with the acting administrator the other day. It's something that they are looking into and we're in close communication on. Of course, it is a concern for us because of safety, but it's something that they have to address and that we're in close communication on that with them.
Is it surprising that this was going on after the crash, though?
For us, it was surprising, but really right now we are very focused on this investigation, and that's something that the FAA is focused on.
Chair Harmony, there was a lot of discussion from the senators about whether the Army was abusing its exemption for not having ADSB on. It sounds like you haven't really established from your investigation whether that would have made a difference in this crash yet. Is that right?
For the exemption?
If they had had ADSB
So
on,
if you had a ADSB out that is transmitting, for the helicopter crew, it would not have made a difference. It may have made a difference for ATC, air traffic control, and may have made a difference certainly for the CRJ crew if they had ADSB in. So that is something we'll look at as part of the investigation. For the air traffic control, we are going to do testing at the FAA Tech Center in mid-April on that.
Chair, one of the things that was discussed in this earlier this morning was that the FAA said that they were going to restrict pilots operating under visual flight rules around DCA from using visual separation as a primary separation tool. That's something that you have seen in previous investigations. Can you talk a little bit about the limitations of see and avoid that might imply?
Yeah, see and avoid can be... Sorry?
Address this camera.
Sorry. Tendency to turn to the person who is talking to you. See and avoid concept, is visual separation. And it is something we have raised in other accident investigations that have resulted in collisions, which is why we have recommended ADSB out and ADSB in to provide information to pilots to ensure safety. I talked about the catch-a-can mid-air collision. That was a situation where see and avoid didn't really work because visibility was almost none for one of the pilots because the converging aircraft was actually behind a column of the airplane that they were flying. That was part of our visibility study. By the way, we are also doing a visibility study as part of this investigation. Last night, we did do a aerial flight with the Black Hawk on helicopter Route 1 and 4 that with night vision goggles, white and green, that we will take that information and that will go into our visibility study to see what the crew could see as they were flying those routes.
Chair, you still expect this full report and investigation to be done by a year?
Yeah, so our goal is to have, we have set a time frame of 1 year to complete this investigation. That is barring unforeseen circumstances, and that would be have to be something major where we need additional investigative information or can't obtain it. But we are going to complete this investigation in that time frame.
So,
David.
Can I just ask quickly to follow up on that test you're going to do? So are you going to basically replay the accident conditions with ADSB out operating to see if that would have made a difference in this incident?
Are you speaking of the ATC testing that we're doing at the FAA Tech Center? Yes. We are going to see if it would have made a difference for ADSB out and in. Yes.
And sorry, just to clarify, the decision to have ADSB in on the CRJ, that is a decision the airline makes, correct?
That is a decision that the airline makes. I will say that American Airlines has outfitted some of their Airbus planes with ADSB in. We hear from the pilots it has been a game changer in terms of safety. It has something that it is a recommendation that we have going back decades, and we hope that the FAA will take another look at it and require ADSB in for aircraft.
2 more questions?
Do you think the Army is abusing this ADSB exemption? How angry does that make you that they are able to whiz around the nation's capital without ADSB on?
That is, I think it's too soon for me to say that. I mean, certainly I've seen the policy. That is something that has been existed for years. Certainly it's part of our investigation. I think, one question we have is with the policy, who knew about the policy, but also over time, who was monitoring changes in operations at DCA, who was monitoring changes in runway use, and who was monitoring changes of helicopter and aircraft operations around DCA, and were they looking at this really almost no margin for safety with the 75 max feet of separation, vertical separation between aircraft and helicopters operating along the bank. So it's a lot of work, a lot of data that we're going to have to collect.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hi there, I'm Pam Menaker from Clifford Law Offices. Hi, Liberty. We have Daily Craft in here he's lost his brother. D-A-I-L-Y. Crafton. You're going to stand right here.
Stand right here, please.
And with him excuse me, with him, if you got the spelling of the name, it's D-A-I-L-E-Y, Crafton, C-R-A-F-T-O-N, brother of Casey, C-A-S-E-Y, Crafton. With him is from Clifford Law Offices, his lawyer, Tracy Brameyer, T-R-A-C-Y, B-R-A-M-M-E-I-E-R. And he will give you his reaction to the hearing and if you have any questions for him.
Welcome, everybody. Are there any specific questions, or should I just...
What did you think of the hearing, and how satiated are you with the FAA and the Army response?
Not much yet. I mean, it's ongoing, right? This is preliminary, so there's a lot more to come from this. I'm most pleased with the NTSB. It seems like they're doing like a really bang-up job of just like stellar and rigorous work, But again, this is preliminary, so there's a lot more to uncover.
Is there anything specific that you would like to see changed as a result of what came out of the hearing or what's come out of the preliminary details from the NTSB?
It's hard to answer that without the full report having come out yet, but it seems like the role of the ADSB system is kind of central, and how there's a lot of exceptions for turning that off. So that's one thing that seems like it's it's becoming a central thing.
What's the emotion for you in all of this?
Shock, and just shock at the compound way in which this happened. It's I mentioned the ADSB, which is like one thing. I'm not going to rehash the whole hearing. You guys heard it, but it's just compound what led to this.
You mentioned that you're shocked at the near misses that has happened, 15,085 at DCA. What is your reaction to know that has happened before this, involving your brother?
Wow. Really, it's I guess disbelief that it's going on, but it is, and I'm glad that something's being done about it now. But it's too little, too late for those of us who had family members on that plane.
Sir, what can you tell us about your brother and that night?
Casey, he's just the best human you could possibly know. He left everyone he met better, for having known him. I'll miss him personally, just as like a friend. We had just a great camaraderie. We would, just being silly together was the way we connected. We both called each other Bubs, and then we both ended up being Uncle Bubs to our respective sets of nieces and nephews, which we always thought was funny. The kind of a story I've been telling that kind of illustrates his character was he recently borrowed an RV from my father-in-law, and he took it to do a charity event for one of his coworkers' children. like a hike, and then he brought it back, and it was in better condition. Than he had fixed a couple of lights that were out and some things on the inside. So that just kind of really sums up the way Casey was. He's just leaving things better than the way he found them, and people included.
That night for you?
Just utter disbelief when my dad called. I was like, nah, right, it's got to be something else, but it wasn't.
Are you from here, or where are you from?
I'm from Tarrytown, New York, and my brother lived in Salem, Connecticut.
What do
What do you
want
want to see come from this?
Yeah, safer skies for everyone else that no family should have to go through any of this, and safer skies and just concrete ways that the responsible agencies are showing that they're working to change.
What do you make of the changes of restricting the helicopters at DCA?
It's a good half start, right? So definitely that, and then a ton more.
Did you or any of the other families meet with Senator Ted Cruz this morning? And if so, what did those conversations?
Some did, I did not. I don't know what transpired. Yeah.
How do you view this oversight hearing in terms of bringing the families together here and also just trying to get answers for what's happening?
Yeah, again, a good start. It's a start. It's the preliminary report, so this is going to be going on for a while, as you all know. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know if you want to speak to an expert or no. You want to speak to an expert from the former NTSB? A two-vote person? Or is everybody set?
I think I sent you a link.
What? We're set? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I haven't seen
Let me.
There's no one left in here.
We're just doing padding.
Hey, Mark. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, Mark. It's Laura Guess. Oh, how are you?
The link that I sent you.
That's his
We are. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I should be calling the pool desk. Yes, I need to be calling the pool desk. Apologies. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Bob, it's Laura. We're here at Commerce. We're kind of working on it right now. If all the schools are able to. Yes. Yes, I've heard that room is definitely open. Thank you.
Smooth street like this, it sucks.
Yeah.
You figure that's one hand, like them, you can give them more.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, this was cool.
But you got me velvet rope this time.
Oh, that's what you meant by velvet ropes.
Yeah!
What else would it be? These are impervious, you can't get through it.
Yeah, we can get through those little zippy ones. We can't get through these. Oh, wow.
Plus, we're scared.
I guess this is...
I don't know. Can you see the Capitol? Other side.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've done it all.
you so much.
Just stand by
Yeah, we were trying to do that, but it wasn't set here. Here.
And then I'll give you.
I might head back. Unless you want to head back.
Oh, I thought yours died.
See ya.
Certainly.